Okay, getting into some new stuff. CRA pronouncements. One of the papers that kind of unnerves me that came out is one called SR&ED Filing Requirements, the policy draft. And it's not something that really has anything new. I knew this was coming, but I was just hoping it was coming later. So what it talks about is, what is the interpretation of the CRA under the filing requirements of the Act? If you read the Act, it says you have to file all prescribed information in prescribed form. All right, so that's pretty clear. All prescribed information in prescribed form. Question one, what's prescribed form? Well, CRA says prescribed form is Schedules 32 and 31. Okay? So if you just file a 661 but not the Schedule 31, you haven't filed all prescribed information in prescribed form, you lose the entire claim. So, well, that's pretty mean, but it doesn't probably happen too much. And then they're saying, well, prescribed form in certain circumstances could include other prescribed forms. Like if I do a non-arm's length transfer, I might have prescribed form 1145, 1146. If I have a specified employee in more than one associated company who's getting SR&ED wages, then I have another form, 1174, to make sure I don't go over 5 times YMPE on the aggregate. And arguably, if I don't file anyone, and so Schedule 31, 32, none of us are probably going to miss that. We're going to get that. But might you forget 1174 when a specified employee has wages from multiple companies under his control or her control? That's an easy one. So I'm saying there's a lot of pitfalls in here when it says all prescribed information in prescribed form. I remember Bill McCarroll did a speech with us maybe about 6 years ago when this first came out, all prescribed information, prescribed form. This was back when we were paper filing. And question came up, okay, Bill, what if we're at the 18-month deadline, we're doing a big claim for a client, they got 38 contractors, we put them all in there, and we missed the HST or GST number for one of them. And it was $180, and we didn't bother to chase it. What happened? Did we lose the $180? Do we lose the whole project the contractor's on? What? He smiled. He said, oh, no, Dave, it's much more serious than that. That's clear. You haven't provided all prescribed information in prescribed form. You lose everything. At which point the room about the size erupted. People are on the phone. Oh, my God, we have our insurance. What's going on? And it's no joke. CRA hates 18-month claims, is the way I'd say it. I'll tell my client, look, CRA's put this as, our parliaments put this as an incentive process to get you to invest in SR&ED consciously. Not for guys like me to come along and say, hey, guess what? I can go back 2 years and get you a whole bunch of money that you never thought you could get on the back of the Canadian taxpayer, which is exactly how the politicians think if you're going back 2 years. You didn't intend to claim. You didn't have a system in place. A smart guy like me came along, and now we're trying to make a tax grab on the back of the Canadian taxpayer. And they're saying, CRA says, hey, the law says 18 months. The law's a law. We have to, if you do it properly, no problems. But just miss one thing. Hey, the law is the law. It says you have to file out prescribed information in prescribed form. You can take a very strict interpretation of that law if you want. And I'm saying that I'm leery of this. I've always been very leery of this in paper filing. When we switched to e-file, there was an administrative provision in the CRA that says, hey, as long as you fill out something in each of the project description boxes and you select traditional or proxy overhead, anything else could be missing and we're going to give you a second chance. That was for like first year and a half because people were freaked out about e-file. Now, e-file seems to be accepted and they just released this draft paper saying, well, now we're putting it back to the way it was. File at the 18 months and miss anything, miss one box, you lost the entire claim. And I see this all the time because I get the unfortunate opportunity to get hired to quantify the damages against a client by another professional like ourselves for situations like this. And it's really easy. Here's exactly how much you cost the client, and here's how I recommend you talk to insurance about settlement. And you're probably going to lose for negligence every time. All right, so I guess my real issue is how tight are they going to apply this? And as a practitioner, is anyone aware of methods that you can use to protect yourself? Does the CRA have any quoted guidelines that if you submit by a certain deadline, they're going to give you a second chance? I heard it. 15 months, right. CRA says if you don't wait right to the 18-month deadline, you give us 3 months or 90 days to review it and something's missing. Even if we're past the 18 months, but we took a while to get back to you, you gave us enough time to get it, we're going to give you a second chance. In my office, everything's absolute 15-month deadline. If a client wants to file after 15 months, my engagement is clear. Hey, I'm taking absolutely no responsibility for this. If you lose it, tough luck, I don't care. I don't want to file beyond 15 months. I think when you see these things go into play, they're going to be more relevant again, and clients and preparers, practitioners who don't consider that could have some pretty serious lawsuits against them. Anything else on that one? All right.